After coaching hundreds of women that are leaders, that are starting businesses while working full-time, as well as training over 30,000 leaders in habit change, one thing that I found is that people are scared to talk in front of people. And so in this video, I want to help you not be afraid to talk in front of other people, especially if you are an entrepreneur or if you're a leader wanting to promote who you are. It is inevitable that you're going to have to talk about yourself and talk in front of people. So in this video, I want to give you some tips to really step into the person that is confident when they're speaking in front of other people. And so, contrary to popular belief, although I've been speaking and all the things since I was 17, I still get nervous prior to speaking, whether it's on a video, whether it's a virtual event, whether it's an in-person event. Sometimes I still get nervous, and that is normal. So the first thing is know that being nervous is normal. It's normal to feel this sense of anxiousness because sometimes anxiousness and excitement can all be the same kind of feeling. So one thing that you get to do, and this is what I do to help me, is to really shift the anxiousness into excitement. And so when I start feeling myself get anxious, I start also imagining, like, what would it feel like to be more on the excited end of this feeling. So I start getting excited about the fact that I've been asked to speak, because sometimes we're asked to do things and we're still nervous. And I'm like, yo, they asked me to come here. They asked for me to share my thoughts. And so the fact that they asked me gives me so much gratitude, and I'm filled with that gratitude, and that helps me turn some of that anxiousness into excitement. So you can use that to practice helping you not feel so anxious and nervous by really transforming those feelings into gratitude, into excitement, into just the opportunity and the honor to be able to speak and impact people. So that's one way that you can use that. The other thing is when you're actually speaking to, promote your business or talk more about who you serve and what you do, or just sharing your expertise overall. Some people are really paralyzed about doing it because maybe you grew up feeling like talking about yourself and the things that you're doing is too haughty or so egotistical, or you're bragging. And so that cannot be anything that's on our mind because if that's on our mind when we're speaking, it comes across to the audience. If you think you're like that, then the way that you portray yourself is going to be in a very insecure way. Even if you feel like you're being super confident and secure, if on the inside you're feeling like, oh, I'm kind of braggy, oh, I'm being egotistical, what are people going to think? You can do your best job to cover it up. If on the inside that's what you're feeling, you're going to have a hard time portraying the real message and really attracting people to your message. And that's what you want to do, because ultimately it's not about bragging, it's not about being egotistical. When you are sharing who you are, if you're sharing your message, you're sharing it because you desire to impact people. There are very few people in these entrepreneur streets that are sharing their thoughts because they just want to show how important they are or how smart they are and that they're better than people. Whatever thoughts people have about what you see people say in these marketing streets. Now, I will say we have been saturated so much with marketing, especially because it's so accessible to for us to be advertised to, on social media. You're always seeing ads. We have phones in our hands. It's nothing like back in the day. I might be dating myself, where the only time you saw ads is like if you're driving and you see a billboard, or if you're like watching TV and a commercial comes on. But now we're like, consumed by it. So I can see the cynicism that comes behind when we see other ads. But it's not going to benefit you when it's your turn to now get in front of the camera and start, sharing who you are, or getting in front of that boardroom, or getting in front of that interview, whatever that is, right? So we have to start getting comfortable with speaking about who we are, what we offer, and all the things from a place of impact, from a place of this is what is really going to benefit someone else, and not a place of proving. So that's the next part. I think so many people get nervous because they feel like they have to prove themselves. And sometimes that can come from childhood, where we're always trying to prove that we're the best person to get the award. We want the gold star, so we're working super hard so everybody can see how awesome we are. And me being someone that has an overcoming hyperachiever, I am a high achiever, but I'm overcoming being a hyperachiever. I'm a positive intelligence coach, and that's one of those saboteurs or self-sabotaging tendencies, hyperachieving, always doing things for that external validation. So one thing that you can really do from a self-awareness perspective is just ask yourself, if I'm looking to be validated, and validate yourself. The more that we validate ourselves first, we can get in the internet streets, we can get in the real streets, we can get on stages, we can do all these things, and we're not feeling like we're proving something because we've already given ourselves that unconditional love for ourselves. So we already have that enoughness, and we're not looking for someone else to click or to buy or to convert to give us that enoughness. We already feel that. And anybody that doesn't agree is just like, okay, to each his own, right? The other thing that can really help you be better at, speaking in front of audiences is really to practice. Practice is the number one thing. I have done trainings for my past organization, which many of you may have heard of, but I'm not going to mention it in this video. But my past organization that I worked for, and I still do contract work for, I've done trainings like the same training over and over again, thousands of times. I can't even count how many times I've done the same exact training for different organizations, modified because of timing, all the things, to the point where I don't need the handbook anymore. I don't even need to look at the slides barely before I actually do it, because it's in me, and all of the content, not only do I teach it, but I also live it. So with that being said, a lot of what I do has been practiced by default because it's like on the job training. I'm doing it all the time. It's easy for me to remember, and it's a part of the fabric of the way that I live, because it's about habit change, about creating trust, all the things, speaking, coaching, all the things that I'm talking to you about. A lot of what I am talking about are things that I've had to talk about over and over again. So I've had a lot of practice. So I have a high level of comfort with talking about those topics. So a lot of times we have not practiced aloud in enough spaces to get comfortable with our story and to get comfortable with different ways to say what it is that we would like to say about ourselves. And so practice. You can practice in the mirror. You can practice in low risk environments with friends, or in front of, small groups of people that maybe you're in different associations or in different groups, and maybe you want to practice in front of them. You can just ask them if they think it's okay for you to practice. But being vulnerable enough to just put yourself in front of a group of people that you feel safe around to practice. Maybe it's your pitch, maybe it's your elevator speech, maybe it's how you want to do a video or show up on social media. So practicing can be very helpful. But at the end of the day, and this is the last thing, at the end of the day, you just got to put yourself out there. So if you are someone that is an entrepreneur, or you're working on your personal brand and you really want to become a thought leader, you want to write books, you want to impact the people, all the things, and speaking has been hard for you, I would say most people won't even put a piece of content out there. As much as it seems like everybody is out here putting content out there, everybody is not. And so you can be the person that is the first to do it in the area that you want to speak about with your story. Because here's the thing, one thing that stopped me a long time ago is that I felt like there were a lot of people that were inspirational. There are a lot of people that are coaches. There are a lot of people talking about life and leadership or business and all the things. What makes me different? And you might be asking yourself the same thing. And what makes you different is you. Nobody has your background. Nobody has your story. I'm sure you hear this all the time. And so did I. And I was like, whatever. But the more that you get really dug in on your competitive advantage, your unique outlook, all of the things, that's going to help you feel more confident with telling your story and being out there, and not feeling like, oh, I'm being saturated, because there are only going to be people that are attracted to you and your story. That's just a fact. And so just allow yourself to be out there and share it. And that's whether you're doing this for your business, even as someone that's looking to get promoted in an organization and you're interviewing, you have a unique advantage that this organization would benefit from. So you get to share what that is, and you can do it unapologetically. So if you like this video, then you'll really, really love the change challenge that I have coming up. Because if you know you want to but you desire to be a different person in 2026, and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to spend the rest of the year being afraid to talk about myself, being afraid to say what I need to say to people, then you need to be at this change challenge. It is going to be at the top of December, and go ahead and click the link below to go ahead and register for it. It is backed by popular demand. I did it in September, and I'm doing it again so that you can get clarity, you can change the identity that you have, and you can get the strategy that you need to have a different 2026 before the year starts. So if you like that, go ahead and click below, and I can't wait to see you there and in the next video.